Hi, my name's Gary. I work in IT at Progress Housing and I'm a representative for the People Forum.
Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm Executive Director at Progress and I'm also Chair of the People Forum.
Hi, I'm Mike. I represent Property Services and I joined the People Forum to represent the union Unite. So, what one word describes a People Forum for you? Well, for me, I would say it's informative. And what about you?
I would say it's collaborative.
Okay. And a word that describes the People Forum for yourself?
I think for me it's all about communication, so it's really that kind of body of individuals, colleagues from the organisation that can come together to represent the teams that they have been chosen to represent, and have that two-way communication between other colleagues on the People Forum, but also myself as chair, and also we've got the director of HR and OD as part of that forum. And as I say, it is really a two-way kind of street really. So to me, communication is paramount for People Forum. So whilst it's one word, I've used a lot of words there.
Right, next question. So, what is the one thing that someone might not already know about the People Forum? I think for me, it's the fact that when I first joined the People Forum, we were called the Staff Suggestion Scheme. So many years ago when I first joined, that's what we were called. But the reality is we don't just talk about staff suggestions. It is a part of what we do, but so over the years the decision was made to change that to the People Forum to encompass a larger kind of the larger range of topics that we talk about.
For me, one recent example from a recent meeting is around the health and wellbeing agenda. So it was really around, okay, what do we offer our colleagues in that space, and how can we use the People Forum as another mechanism of communicating. I think since then, I think we've done a lot in terms of promoting the wellbeing, the wide range of wellbeing initiatives that we do have there. We've recently done the colleague survey on the wellbeing, and actually the results of that survey are going to be, they're just being analysed at the moment. They're actually going to be widely communicated as well. So I think the People Forum had a part to play in that as well.
Yeah, well that's two things that I didn't know about the People Forum, being a new member, so
yeah, every day's a learning day.
Every day is a learning day.
Next question. So this question is, what's one benefit to having a People Forum here at Progress? Well, I think from my perspective, it's really kind of, from an individual's point of view, I would imagine being on the People Forum, whilst there is, I think, a relatively small time commitment, so we probably meet about 4 times a year for a couple of hours for each meeting. I think the real, over and above the attending the meeting, I think the real added value is for when that individual goes and discusses any issues that have been raised, or any communication or any feedback back to the team that they're there to represent, and hopefully that's enabling them to have a different kind of conversation outside of the day-to-day kind of work environment. And I think hopefully a lot of colleagues might find that actually quite beneficial. I don't know if that applies to either of yourself, when you go and take feedback to the team that you're representing.
I mean, I work in IT, you work in property services, we face very different challenges. So I think one of the things that I've really understood well from the People Forum is understanding the different problems and the different issues and the different advantages that different areas and different departments work with. I can't represent property services as well as somebody who works in property services, so I like seeing the different angles that people approach the same problems or approach the same issues.
Yeah, and all of that makes it really important again, doesn't it, to make sure that we have got that representation from as much of the group as we possibly can, and that that's why we're here today.
Yeah. Should we go for another? What would you like to tell someone thinking about nominating themselves to be a People Forum representative? Well, I would definitely say, yeah, because go for it. It's not super time consuming, is it, really?
No.
Again, I think you said before we only meet 4 times a year, but I would say put yourself forward. And the simple fact is, for the reason, get your team or yourself, your role, your department represented. The bigger the representation, the greater the voices, the more collaborative we can be.
I would say very, very similar thing. If anyone's even thinking about it, just go for it. You'll be supported. It's a safe place. It's a safe meeting to go to. Any new members are welcomed with open arms. But I would say if your department isn't represented now, absolutely go and represent. If you're not in the room, you don't have a voice. Digital Services has representation. Property Services has got a couple of people, but don't get me wrong, we could always ask for more. There are definitely areas of the business that don't have representation that really should.
And if we look back at kind of the growth of the organisation, you know, we've got our 6 business streams. The majority of those business streams have been really growing in terms of the number of colleagues that have joined the organisation over the last few years. And I think we're reaching over 800 colleagues now in the organisation. So it just means it's even more important that, you know, people are represented to reflect our growing organisation. So join us, please. We are currently recruiting for new representatives from all across the group to join us on the People Forum. If you'd like to know more, you can find out by visiting our intranet or sending me an email, give me a call, or even Margaret Lonsdale. We'd love to tell you more about what the People Forum is and how you can make a difference by joining us. Our current nomination period ends next week, 31st of Jan, so please do get in touch before this date if you're interested.